Hi, in this one we're going to be talking about the return keyword. Now the return keyword basically helps us work better with our functions or make better use of our functions. So as of now what we know is we could just build a function that does some kind of a task or and prints out the output or just displays the result of the task that the function does. But what the return keyword helps us do is it helps us throw out a value or return a value from the function that we're writing. So let's take an example to understand this. Now as you see on your screen, we have a function called addition. So this function addition has been defined and it takes two arguments or two parameters that are a and b. And all the function does is it returns the sum of a and b, or it returns the result of the addition of the values a and b. So how is this function different from what we've been doing up until now? Now what we could do additionally is we could use a different variable called result outside of this function and make it equal to the output of the addition function as you see on the screen. So result equals addition 10, 20. This means that the function addition is going to take the values 10 and 20, it's going to add them up, and the result is going to be 30. So the result or the output of this function addition uses the return keyword to be stored inside the result variable that you create externally. That's pretty simple and it makes your code so much more useful, or it makes the concept of functions so much more useful. This means that you can write individual functions to return individual values that ultimately help you modularize your code, or break your code into readable chunks. And if one chunk has a problem, you exactly know which chunk or which function that you need to go to and fix the problem in, or what each group of lines of code does in your whole code base. So a couple of things that you need to know is that no lines of code are executed after the return keyword is used in a function. So this means that if I would write some code right after this line where I've written return, no lines of code would be executed in that function. The program execution will resume outside the function and it will continue, but not inside the function after the return keyword has been used. Next, when using the return keyword, your function must return a value. So you can't just type return and not give it a value, right? So as you see on the screen, we've written return a plus b. So a plus b is the value that we're returning. So you can't just use return without actually returning a value. So that's pretty much about the theory or the concept of the return keyword. What we'll do now is move on to PyCharm and actually get our hands dirty with this concept of the return keyword and make the use of our functions more powerful. I'll see you on PyCharm. Hi, in this one we're going to be taking a look at the return keyword and actually implementing the return keyword in our programs. So you could create a new project for this one, or you could simply use the code or modify the code in the calculator that we made previously using functions. So before we get into modifying the code with the return keyword or modifying our functions with the return keyword, I would just like to take a look at the example that we saw in the slides before. So here, let's create a function called addition. And this addition function takes two arguments, that's a and b, and it simply returns the sum of a and b. So that's a plus b. Now, this function addition takes two arguments a and b, so we could pass any kind of values, and then we simply return or throw out a value from this function. So how to really do that? In this case, let's create a new variable outside the function. So let's create a variable called result and make that equal to addition and then maybe 10, 20. So what this means is that the result variable stores the value that is returned by the addition function, where we're passing 10 as the value of a and 20 as the value of b. So when I print the variable result and run this code, we see the output that is 30. But at the same time, if I simply call the addition function right here, with different parameters, could be 100, comma 20, and I run this, it really doesn't give me any kind of feedback here or any kind of output here because the addition function simply returns a value. It does not print a value. So unless there's a print statement, Python is not really going to display values right now, right? So alternatively, to display this value, you could use the print statement and put the addition function call inside the print statement. And when I run this, it gives me the value 120, where 100 plus 20 is computed inside the addition function and then returned to the print statement, which ultimately displays the value. Pretty simple, right? Let's go ahead and actually use the return statement in our calculator. So for this, I'm just going to minimize the output window and take a look at our functions. So we've got about 5 functions here. That's addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the exponent function. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to remove all print statements from these functions because we don't want to print values inside the function anymore. Instead, we simply want to return this result value. So I'm just going to return result because here what we have is a result variable which stores number 1 plus number 2. But in this case, what we'll do is we'll simply write number 1 comma number 2 here, or just for simplicity's sake, we could actually write a comma b here as function arguments which are used inside the result variable, so a comma b. And we could also change the name of this result variable, which we could call it summation, and return summation, right? Similarly, for subtraction, we'll again add a comma b, and then we'll change this to a and b, and this would be subtraction, and we'll simply return subtraction. Yeah. For multiplication, again, we got 2 parameters, a comma b. We'll change this to mul for multiplication and change number 1 to a and number 2 to b. For division, again, and this we could just call it div, and instead of number 1, we'd write a slash b. For exponent, we could write a comma b again. We could write exp and a, b, and then finally return exp. One thing we forgot to do right here is return mul and return div. And once this is done, what we want to do is we want to look at our function calls right here. So as you see, our function calls do not really take any kind of arguments right here right now. So when I click on run, and if I just want to do addition, I type 1 right here, press enter, 10 for number 1, 20 for number 2, it gives me an error. The error says that the addition function, which is called right here on line number 38, yeah, is missing 2 required positional arguments, a and b. That is because we are using a and b inside the function, and the function expects those values. So let's just give addition a comma b. But in this case, a and b are not recognized by your program because a and b are only variables that are used inside your function. So to fix this, what you need to know is the numbers you want to pass to the function. In this case, we want to pass the variable number 1 and the variable number 2 to our functions. So I'll go right here, change this to number 1 and change that to number 2, and do the same exact thing for each of the other functions. Now, once this is done, our program should ideally work. Let's run it and test it out. Okay, I'm going to do addition. Number 1 is 10, number 2 is 20. But this time our program doesn't give us an error as such, or doesn't give us a syntax error. It just does not display the result that we expected it to display. This means that what we have, or what we've encountered, is a logical error or a logical issue in our program. So a syntax error is when you just write the syntax incorrectly, or you do not follow the rules of Python or programming while typing your code out. A logical error is when you have followed all the rules of typing your program out and your program executes successfully, but it does not give you the desired result. Now in this case, as you see, the addition function simply returns a value. It does not print a value. So what we want to do is we want to print something, right? So let's create a print statement. And inside our print statement, we'll format the result string the way we did in the last one, where this input to the result string should be the value returned by the addition function. So to do that, let's print out result string, dot format, just like we learned. And then the first value is going to be number 1, which is the first number. The second value is going to be the operator. The third value is going to be number 2, which is another variable. And finally, the fourth value is going to be addition number 1, comma, number 2. And we can really just get rid of this statement. So just going to create some space here. What we have here is we're printing the result string and formatting it with number 1 right here, the plus operator right here, number 2 right here, and making that equal to the result or the output returned by the addition function. Now let's see if this works out. Running that, number 1 is 10, number 2 is 20, and it says 10 plus 20 equals 30. That's simple, right? Super easy, and that works for us. And now, instead of having our usual 2 lines in our main program right here in the if-else construct, we simply just have 1 line. So let's do this exact thing for all the other functions. So I'm just going to print, 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 and print. And what we're going to do is change the operator for subtraction, and instead of addition, we'll write subtraction right here. Change the operator for, I think number 3 was multiplication. So this would be a star or an asterisk. That would be multiplication. And then number 4 was division. So that would be division. And number 5 is an exponent. So we'll put that symbol right there, and we write exponent right here. So now when we run our program and we try out any option, so in this case, let's try out division, right? So division is number 4. And the first number, let's try 10. The second number, we write 2. So the expected answer should be 5 here. And that's exactly what we get. So you could try this out with any number of calculations, any number of formulae that you can add to your calculator with your current knowledge. And well, we've actually learned how to use the return keyword to make our code much more simpler with lesser lines of code, or well, at least more readable lines of code, which makes our lives as programmers more simple to be able to explain our code to our team, or just to, get back to the code a couple of days or months later and still understand it easily. So that's the end of this section for functions, and I hope that you guys have understood the concept of functions properly. We'll be doing some more projects, a major project in the coming lessons, wherein we'll be actually using functions and many more things that you guys haven't done still. So make sure you guys are practicing from the course resources, coding along with me through all the videos, and having fun. And well, until then, I'll see you in the next one.